Hey guys, Josh here, CrossFit Rima, talking Friday's workout. We're all excited. We get to be back in the box tomorrow, but we're going to continue Rima at home. A lot of you have reached out. You really like the videos that we're doing. You really like the description of the workouts. So we're going to continue that, and we really like doing it. And it gives us another opportunity to train maybe a little bit of a different way. Maybe when we couldn't make it to box, or maybe we're just not ready for that piece yet. We have Rima at home, and then we have, obviously, Rima at the box. So let's get right into our warm-up. We're going to start on the ground for Ys and Ts. That's a good follow-up to yesterday. Even though we did a lot of pushing and pulling, we still need to pull more often than we push. That's a big deal. Okay, so we're going to get into this position all the way down the ground. I'm going to do 10 Ys, Y, and then T. Okay, so I focus on my mid back. On both of those, I focus on getting my arms up as high as I can, and it's a warm-up. I don't necessarily need to pause, but if it's really easy, maybe I do pause, hold position. Either way, 10 and 10. Now, my next position I'm going to get into, I'm going to start with a squat, so that's going to prepare us for Russian step-ups. I'll start with a squat, and then I'll anchor back into a reverse shoulder push-up. I'll show you. So we'll get into position. So squat stance all the way down, and then I walk myself back, keep my hips up, drive my shoulders up for 1, drive my shoulders up for 2, and then I walk myself back, and I stand. And I'll do that for a total of 10 reps. So 10 Ys, 10 Ts, and then I squat down, do 2 reverse shoulder push-up, and I do that for 10 reps there. And then in my last iteration, I'm gonna get into that seal jack. So I'll get into this position, everything's put together. There's a few different goals on that. You can use it for a lot of different things. What I want to use it for is a little bit of ankle prep. So I want to make sure that I'm on the balls of my feet the entire time, and then trying to go as fast as I can. I'll do 20 of those. So 10 Ys, 10 Ts, 10 squats, a shoulder push-up, and then 10 seal jacks. I'll do that 3 rounds for my warm-up. So for my strength portion, I have a single arm high pull for 10 on each side. I have a single arm press for 10 on each side. Here's how I'd like to do that. I'll get my 10 on the right, high pull, then my 10 on the right, press. Then so on and so forth until I'm all the way through. And this is a big deal for shoulder health. So as I'm doing it, just watch these positions. I have my trusty 300-gallon, what is floating in that? Who knows? So I get into this position and I pull up, and again, my elbow needs to get higher than my shoulder structure. So this isn't the right position. I go here and I come straight up, and there's none of this, right? There's not a bruised thigh from where I'm hinging and getting some sort of English in this. It's straight up, straight down. Now, if this is too light, if it's gonna be too light for 10, if whatever object I'm holding is too light, then go slower. Maybe I go a normal tempo on the way up, and then I can go a slow tempo on the way down. That would be my high pull. I would do 10, then I would immediately change it over. Hopefully this doesn't dump on me with creepy malaria water. And then I go up to the top and I press, top and press. And as I'm doing it, it's none of that, right? The midline stays, imagine that there's a pop can or a Coke can, whatever you want to call it, in between my ribs and my pelvis, and I'm trying to crunch that the entire time, and I do 10. And again, I can totally add in tempo if the object I have is too light. Now, once I get to my workout, it's gonna be 160 double unders, it's gonna be 80 Russian step-ups, and it's gonna be 40 burpees. So here's what I got. I don't have my jump rope around, so I'm gonna go ahead and set myself up for success with bounding off of the ground. Now, if this doesn't work, coach is gonna provide a modification and a good scale for this, but maybe it's bounding. Mechanics are staying straight up, no weird pike position, no weird Superman position, but also staying on the balls of my feet, okay? Now, if that's good. If I have that, then I add in coordination. Here's what gets kind of weird with that, and where we start to get sloppy on our double unders, or why we don't quite have them yet, is the coordination's off. We'll either slap at the wrong time, and it's just a function of noise instead of something that's actually happening worthwhile. So focus on tapping at the apex of your jump. And that's a lot harder when you actually think of when am I at the tallest point of my jump. And once you have that control, Once you have that coordination, then you can penguin hop and you can tap at the top. Okay, so that'll be, if I don't have a jump rope, I'm gonna do 160 of those. If I do have a jump rope, maybe I'm doing singles, maybe the coach calls for a different number, or maybe I'm doing 160 double unders. Now, when I get to my step up, I'm lucky enough to have a bench. A stool will work, a chair, whatever you can get to be able to step up on, and a Russian step up looks like this. I get 1 foot up. Well, let's go with the regular step up. So my regular step up, I get to the top, I extend the hip, I control the down. So it's not a comet plummeting to the earth, stress fracture, it's here, and if I'm good at this piece, then I add the Russian part, because whenever you put Russian before anything, obviously it makes it better, stronger, more amazing. I go up, and then I come back down, up, and then I come back down. That's my Russian step up. I have that little pretty hop at the top. Okay, so there are 80 Russian step ups, and I'm gonna finish with my burpees. It's a chipper, that means it's one time through, that means I don't revisit any of the movements. Double under, Russian step up, burpees, and I do that for 40 reps. I call time. It's a lot faster workout than what it was yesterday. So once I'm through all that, guys, we're gonna decompress with a simple spider lunge. Now, we usually do that on the ground. That's fine, man. You can totally do that. But let's say that I have, like, I don't know, the side of a counter or a bench or something I could use. I'm gonna show you just a slightly different iteration of what this spider lunge could potentially look like, okay? So here's what I do. I go ahead and get one leg on the bench, and then I put the other leg way out in front. Now, the leg that's on the bench, I'm trying to get that hip closer to the bench. I'm trying to squeeze the glutes on, again, this side, and I'm trying to creep this leg way up in front, and then I can use this to drive off, and maybe doing this creates a little bit of a different stretch for you as opposed to getting here and working that. For instance, when I do it on the bench, I feel a really good lower back piece. When I do it on the ground, I feel a hip flexor piece. One might be more valuable for you than another. It may be valuable to go through both of them and check which one you get better at.